afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1836th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni. But tonight, we're going to have a little bit of long-term trading and some short-term trading themes in this video. Tonight's video is coming at you on a Monday night for Trading Tuesday, is that correct? Monday night for Trading Tuesday. That's October 2nd, 2018. Traders, before we start to cover the topics on the board, please know if you don't trading of any sort, options, futures, stocks, baseball cards, I don't care what you're trading these days. If you trade it, it is volatile, it is risky. There is risk behind this game. You can lose a lot more than you think. You can lose more than you have in your accounts. Never trade without risk capital you can afford to lose, and never trade without stops. Put your protective stops in first, and come join me at livewithoscar.com. Don't trade alone. Hang out with me. I'll help you get through these rough and tumble markets, and as will the rest of my OMNIX in the trading room. All right, so should we cover the topics on the board, or should I just end the video now and be done? What do you think, Nat?
I should get to the topics, but
I'll give it a whirl. All right, so on this board, first of all, welcome to Rocktober, because things always happen in Rocktober. That doesn't mean they're going to be bad, but you never know. Right off the bat, I will tell you this about Rocktober, and it involves crude oil. If this keeps up, the price of crude is going to change the market's mood. There is no way on earth that the price of crude can continue to move higher, and developing nations can afford to pay for that. Even the U.S. is going to start to have trouble at some point. Crude now is breaking above 75. You're not hearing a lot about it. Gets above 77, it starts to near 80 in crude. You will hear developing nations all over the world losing their minds. Why? Because we've got a strong dollar, and crude is priced in dollars. So if you do not have U.S. dollars, if you're buying crude in another country, you've got to convert your currency to U.S. dollars, which is expensive. Then you've got to buy expensive crude. Now, you must recognize that it's all about shipping today. If you don't think so, our market is built upon shipping, and not just shipping, very quick shipping. Very fast, things need to be shipped, products need to move like that. That's how companies stay in business today. So, don't you think every single aspect of a company like Amazon is going to feel the price of crude if it keeps going higher? How about Apple? It's not Facebook and Google that they're informational companies. They have to create a product and get product out to market. You've got to ship raw materials to your factory. You've got to build the product. You've got to ship it to a place where it can be sold, or you've got to ship it to an individual, or the individual has to get in a car and drive and go pick it up at a store. The transportation or the cost of such for every product will get more expensive. So on the internet alone, with just a quick amount of research, you can easily find out who are the biggest players, who ships the most products on the internet in the United States. Amazon does 43.5% of all the e-commerce on the internet in the United States. 43.5. Don't you think that company is going to feel if the price of crude goes up, the price of gas goes up? How about Apple? How about Walmart? How about Home Depot? Best Buy, QVC, Costco, Wayfair, you name it. These people ship zillions of products, and the price is going to go higher. And everything else but Amazon, who now has some brick and mortar stores that I just mentioned, you've got to go to that store to get that product that they had to ship to the store to begin with. That's transportation more than once, right? And you got to drive home. The price of crude, we can handle it in the U.S. I'll bet we can handle it all the way up until about 100, but the rest of the world cannot. So, this is the longer term part of this video. If this keeps up, the price of crude is going to change the market's mood. It will have no choice. Omni is projecting 81.50 short term. Next is 9100 coming in crude. We're looking at those prices. The world cannot handle crude at those prices like the U.S. can. Again, remember that crude's priced in U.S. dollars. You've got to get dollars and convert them to buy that crude. If dollars are up and crude's up, who can afford that? So, prices or increase in prices will either be passed along to the consumer, which is called inflation, or these companies are going to have to eat some of that cost, and that's going to bring down their bottom lines, right? Either of the two, it is not good for the United States or the rest of the world. So I've done a lot of research on it the last few days, and I am here to tell you price of crude is going up, and it is absolutely going to affect our markets if we continue to allow it to go up. Can there be safeguards? Can we get our government to tell our crude producers to produce more? I don't know if that's where the answer lies, because in all honesty, you've got Putin now. Russia is a big part of OPEC, and I think they are shaping what OPEC's doing. And right now, best way to hurt the U.S. is to try to rally the price of crude, but it's going to hurt everybody before it hurts us. So I am telling you, this isn't political. I've looked at charts only. 81.50, then 91. We'll see what happens. That's the longer-term picture. For now, though, for tomorrow, we're still bullish, and we're looking to buy dips in your E-mini S&P. I am not selling it just yet. I've got a chart to show you why. I think you know what that chart's going to look like by now. And I will be selling rallies in gold, and I'll show you charts on that. Traders, before we get to the charts, the first annual OMNI Camp Bash, or the OMNIac Bash, will be held. It is confirmed. Get your tickets, make your reservations, come on down to Las Vegas. We will hang out all day on the 11th and then come back on the 12th for more fun. The 11th is a Saturday, November. The 12th is a Sunday. Make sure you get to Vegas on Friday night so we can all hang out from Saturday forward. I hope to see you there. With no further ado, let's go look at some charts. Traders, this is Rocktober. It's a notorious month if you look at all of history for the stock market, but not if you look at the market from 2009 forward, it isn't. So let's forget about Rocktober rocking the markets. However, we are starting to bounce off of this beautiful support trend line more often than usual. We hit it here once and we ran away, and we hit it here once and we ran away, and we hit it here once and we ran away for a while and came back and ran away. But now we hit it 3 times. Ran up for only one day, and already at the end of the day it came back down and started settling towards the lower end of the range. So it's not below that line, and I am not selling it unless we end up below that line. So I'd rather buy a dip in the E-mini S&P tomorrow if I had to trade it than do anything until we break that. If we break it, and I don't know if it will, if we break it, maybe I'll become a seller. Until then, like here, 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 and here, I am not going to sell it yet. Just showing you what I'm looking at here. Then we've got gold. Now this chart, it's been a very educational chart for us because if you recall, we had this long channel we worked in for a long time, and we kept selling it up there and getting out, or selling it here and getting out of our trade. If we were short on this day, we'd get out down there. So we used the channel properly as day traders. And we morphed out of that channel. I called it old news and showed you something new that was building, the new kid on the block. Well, since then, that's become old news. The next new thing I showed you last night, that's this channel, and we will be trading that channel, and we'll be selling into the top of that channel if it sets up properly in the gold. And why would you think that you can sell gold? For the same reason why you can sell just about anything. Now, we had Player 8, one of my Omniacs, Player 8, one of my YouTube Omniacs. Player 8 said, Oscar, can you give me a look at sugar and maybe a look at coffee? And all I can say is, while the dollar's been going up, look at the thorough thrashing that sugar has had to endure. And it doesn't look like it wants to go up anytime soon past about 12 and a quarter. Why? Because you can't get above that black line, which brings you to about 12 and a quarter. I have no good news for you in sugar, except for it could rally a bit. But once it gets up here, you need to sell it once again unless the dollar changes direction. Same thing with coffee. Another reason why you can sell commodities, look at how long this has been going down for. Granted, you just jumped out of that channel a little bit, but I wouldn't be a buyer of anything. I would sell rallies if I had to do anything in coffee. And the dollar index has been moving higher. Now, you know my longer-term view of the dollar index is that you're actually looking at a head and shoulders right here, and eventually this thing's going to crack. That's my view of it for now, long-term. Short term, we just got above the OMNI average. Looks good to me for day trading. I don't see why the dollar doesn't go up again on Tuesday, making commodities like sugar, coffee, and gold heavier. So there's your dollar index. But traders, this is the one that's going to create problems for us. This is the crude oil. With a dollar moving higher, you've got crude that is just continually moving higher and lately starting to really rock and roll to the upside. So I've got targets of 81.50 and 9100. But remember, as soon as you get above 77 and you get to 80, you've already got trouble with at least a third of the nations on this planet, if not more. They cannot afford the price of crude. Think of the price of Brent. It's more expensive than the WTI. It's more expensive than U.S. crude. So if you're buying Brent, you're already paying way more than you can afford in an emerging market country, and it doesn't look like it's going to settle back anytime soon. So here it is. Keep an eye on crude. Remember, the crude analysis of it moving higher and eventually hurting our markets is longer-term view. Short-term view for tomorrow, hey, we're going to try to buy the dips in S&P if it works out. We're certainly going to sell rallies in gold and maybe some other commodities and expect that crude to just continue to move higher. So, traders, you've seen the charts and you've got my reasoning why I've got all this crap written on the board, right? You see what's going on with the crude? There is no way the price of crude can continue to move higher. Does anybody remember what happened the last time we went this high? Does anyone remember? We cannot continue, but we are okay for now. It just can't continue. There is targets of 81.50 and then 91, which look like we will get to at some point. I don't have dates on these, just prices. I'm not selling the ES just yet. Even if it comes down to that line, you might find me buying it, not selling it until we settle below that line. Otherwise, I am buying dips, and I will sell the rallies in gold. Traders, join me at livewithoscar.com in my live trading room. RSVP for your Omniac Bash. Make sure you come out to Las Vegas for November. Join my Platinum membership where I can send you my trading recommendations instantly in real time. If you want to trade when I trade in real time, come to livewithoscar.com and join the Platinum membership. And finally, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do, in my opinion, to help keep those emotions at bay, and I know that's not easy, but try this exercise. Say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, traders. I'll see you all at my Omni Camp Bash in November. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.